All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachah, Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstones who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom, Barakathum. This is your brother Yerah coming back at you with another lesson through the Spirit. I'm going to play some of this video by a creator. He's a streamer known in the realm of gaming called Asmon Gold. And he dropped some gems, which I believe is on point to what we're gonna see next over the next several months. As you know, the wicked like to communicate what they're getting ready to do when they've already planned to do it, you know, and they somehow get you to just stay silent, and they get your consent by your silence. And this is exactly how this is gonna go down. They're gonna tell you what they've already planned to do. Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But you're gonna notice most people aren't gonna do shit, man. Okay. And your silence is gonna guarantee that it happens. Okay, let's play some of this. We'll get some precepts. Okay, you'll see where this is going.
Hi guys, it's me again, and today I want to talk about my favorite topic, internet censorship. And you know what's really upsetting?
Lock you.
The fact that every single other government in the world seems to have that in common with me. Every other government right now is making laws, rules, and regulations for what can and can't be on the internet. And there's a little phrase that my mom used to always tell me, and it used to be, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But here's the thing, these people don't have good intentions. They say it's for the kids. Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, sure. You don't want to have kids on social media. You don't want to have kids looking at certain weird stuff. Very true. But let's be honest. The real reason why they're doing it is the same reason why YouTube removed dislikes. It's very simply because companies that are running advertising campaigns, pushing narratives and social agendas that aren't popular, and also governments that are doing the exact same thing, were upset and getting their feelings hurt because the people had the power of consensus. The people had the power of assembly, and they would assemble on that little red line on the bottom of a video, and it would show everybody else that this is bullshit. How much?
All right, so you see that, right? Now, you remember a while back they took the dislikes off of YouTube, okay? I believe they took the likes off of Instagram for a little bit because women, you know, they were doing self-harm, you know, things to themselves. And this goes to show you, and they showed you this in 2020. They have no intention on doing the will of the people. Okay, if the people start to disagree too much, they'll simply just make it disappear. There'll be no more dislikes. Okay, it doesn't matter if you say if you have a bunch of evidence that something is true or not. They will disregard it and cite a paid off organization like the W to the H to the O. Okay, which is bought and paid for research by bribed physicians, and they'll cite that even though it's completely obvious that the truth is what the people are saying. You see, they'll just change it. They'll put a little tag in there, you know, do a video about the moon landing, and see if YouTube puts a little tag on there. He say, well, actually, you know, there's no you know, evidence to such and this, and they're the source. You see, it's not an independent source. They're the source. Okay, but this is Daniel 7:25. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. Okay, so he got to change his own laws. Okay, he's gonna have to change his own law against free speech. He's gonna have to go against that because it's now it was once used to build up America, to get all of these people here to invest, you know, emotionally, financially, and everything else. Okay. And then once he got it built up, he's going to change it because it's no longer in his interest. Too many people disagree with him. Too many people are starting to realize that they are the livestock here now. Okay, they changed out Jake and opened it up to everybody. Okay, and make no mistake, all of these things were done because this is Jacob and Esau at war with one another. It was always meant for us first, and then there's always a bunch of collateral damage with a bunch of heathen, you know, getting caught up in it. Okay, but that's what this is. It's a spiritual battle between Jacob and Esau. Okay, that's why he passed all of these laws. That's why he's so fascinated with trying to grab us up and lock us down, you know, and convince us to do particular things, you know. So that's what this whole thing is about. He wants the birthright. Okay, it says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and the dividing of time. Okay, and that's speaking about us. But the fact remains, he's gonna start changing these laws, man. Okay, he already is.
How many times have you guys read an article and you thought to yourself, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever read in my entire life? And you scroll down to the comment section and the top comment says the exact thing that you think. And you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. Well, guess what? How do you solve that problem if you're the company? Do you write better articles? Absolutely not. No, of course not. You delete the comments section. And that's what they're trying to do with the entire internet. We used to have, back in the ancient days, in the ancient texts, every website used to begin with www, World Wide Web. And I think we're losing those first two W's, and I think that's a big fucking L. The fact is that we are going to be moving towards a world and a society where different internets are siloed off based off of region. This is already happening. Look at what happened with, for example, Twitch and South Korea. Now South Korean websites are pretty much unique and they do their own thing by themselves. This, in my opinion, is just a precursor of what's going to happen all across at least the Western world. Now, whenever I have conversations about this, I'm having conversations about this from the context of an American, okay? We have more freedom of speech than many other people in the world. And so when I say something like, the reality is, I think that this is the truth, okay? You might not like this, you might not want to hear it, but if you're realistic and you take your fucking idealism cap off just for a second, you're gonna realize this is true. We're gonna have real ID on the internet. It's gonna happen. You might not like it. I don't necessarily like it, but
yeah, he called it, and that's where this is going. You see, you accept certain things, and then you before you know it, you know that inch that you've given him, he's taking a mile now. Okay, you accepted the dislikes, you know, being taken off. Okay, they even did it with movies. I think Rotten Tomatoes. You know, they were not really caught red-handed, but everybody kind of knows they were in on it. They were caught manipulating the scores. You know, they try to push a woke movie. You know, I believe the first movie they got caught, you know, doing this with was Captain Marvel. Okay, back in like 2019. It was not. It made a lot of money, but it was not well received. It made a lot of money because they put it between, you know, basically Black Panther and Avengers, Infinity War. Okay. That's why it made a lot of money, or Endgame. Okay, I believe it was the movie right before Endgame, so it had no choice but to make a lot of money. But they changed the reviews on it, man. Okay, because see they do things to try to, everything's a manipulation, you see. And so that's what Jake has got to realize. What the scriptures say, what? You should know the scripture by heart. 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, and this is a device. The internet is a device. Algorithms are a device. Regional silos of the internet, where Brazil has a different internet than Sweden, and Sweden has a different internet than the UK. What do you think what do you think they're gearing things up for? You think the elites are siloed? No, they got internet that's unfettered. Okay. That don't have all of these shackles or restrictions on it. But see, the internet that we're going to get, okay, it's going to be tailor-made, okay? They already got you to accept these algorithms, okay? Well, you really can't see the whole internet anyway, because everything you like, he's selling you something, and before you know it, the things that are on your phone are completely different than something what's on somebody else's phone, you know? So already your thought process is already jacked up, okay? All right, so people got different ideas of what of how things work, okay, and to the point to where you're arguing over what a woman is now, you know.
But it's going to happen, and it's not going to be in 20 years. It probably won't even be in 10 years. It'll probably be sooner than that, and I wouldn't be surprised if things keep going the way that I think they are, that it happens even sooner than that. We're having this happen with social media. You had Spotify, and you had YouTube too. And YouTube and Spotify are asking for your IDs now to make sure that you're not underage. And they have an AI checking system. So if you say it's...
And it's not about the underage, because right now, you can Google something on YouTube called naked yoga, okay? Go look that up. It's on YouTube. Okay? If they're worried about children, why is that on YouTube? Well, we were getting strikes for telling you, you know, not to take or participate in certain, you know, what do you call it? Medical procedures. Okay? We were getting strikes for that, you see? So this whole thing is all BS, man. Okay? And ultimately, these small hats have had it. They're getting cooked in every comment section. It could be something positive, and you go to the comments and they're on their head, man. They're on their head, man. You know? And that's a beautiful thing.
Or on God, you instantly get sent to YouTube Kids, which honestly I kind of think that's doing everybody a favor, right? But the reality is that YouTube and Spotify shouldn't be the ones that are doing this. They should not be the ones handling your driver's licenses. They shouldn't be the ones handling your personal information. How'd that go with the T app, by the way? So in case anybody doesn't know, the T app was an app made for fat, ugly, middle-aged women to post pictures and henpeck men who didn't call them back after the first date because of the obvious reasons. And guess what happened? Well, in the most pristine and pure version of karma possible, all of these women who had their information, were putting out their information to, basically like posting the public information of these men against or without their consent, had all of their public information and private information leaked completely to the public.
And you got to watch for events that are happening in the news. You know, they'll do the flag of falsehood, okay, easily, okay. They'll make up their own pretext to take away your freedom, okay. They say, well, the T app got hacked, so we got to protect women, okay. Or they'll all of a sudden, you know, because you got Roblox, and Roblox is known for having a lot of kids on there, and a lot of kids getting, you know, talking to people basically on there that they shouldn't be talking to, and then things happening, okay, you know, through the video game system, okay. And video games are going to be a primary example of where they start this real ID thing at, man, okay. Grand Theft Auto 6 might be the first game that just like, oh, if you want, they hype the game up so much, put $2 billion into the game, and everybody want to play it. You know, even a lot of brothers want to play it. I kind of myself want to play it, but if they may hype it up and say, look, you got to get the ID, okay. And then if that game becomes successful, okay, super successful, like they're predicting it to be, and everybody just said okay to the ID thing, then guess what's gonna happen? Every other game is gonna have an ID in it. Okay, that's just simple. That's how that's gonna roll. All right, and so you gotta watch the wicked, man. Okay, you see. Play some more of this. See how long I've been going, 13.
Now you saw the pictures of all the people, and man, oh my God, like stereotypes exist sometimes for a reason. And so anyway, this happened, and I'm not going to say it's a hack because there was no security, there was nothing. The guy that was running this this app, apparently, I heard that after he gets done running this app, Sony's going to hire him for their privacy division. So that's pretty much where we're at now. And I don't want to have YouTube get hacked. I don't want to have Spotify get hacked. The reality is that we need some degree of authentication token, verification, or some sort of third-party thing that verifies that maybe you are an adult or you are an actual person, you are above this age, but it does not provide that information to the end user or the end company that's actually trying to verify this. We need a validation token system. And if we don't have this, and I know people might say, no, we're not going to have any of this, it's bad. You're going to get it, okay? It's going to happen. You can get mad at me all you want, but just wait and see. So I think we need a validation system. We need a way that has actual accountability to make sure that people just don't get their shit leaked when one of these accounts or one of these websites gets leaked. Anything can get hacked, but I would much rather put my trust in some part of like third party like security system or something like that.
Right, because that's what they're on the precipice of. Okay, I believe a major cyber attack is going to happen, and it's going to be all Esau needs to just lock everything down. But it's all going to be a lie, man. Okay, Proverbs 26 and 22, it says the words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly, and that's what he is to us now. That's turning back on him. Okay, I'll read and you'll see what I'm saying in a second. But that's what he's been doing, man. He's been talebearing, man. Okay, the cry bullies I'm talking about. Okay, the chief house of Esau, they've been talebearing, man. Okay, telling you they're the chosen, telling you that they've been victims the whole time when really they were the goddamn villain. Okay, are the villain. Okay, it says burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross. Okay, it says he that hateth dissembleth with his lips and layeth up deceit within him. Okay, and that's what this guy is doing, man. He's got hate and deceit. Okay, and but he wants to call what you're doing hate speech, anti-S, anti-this. Okay, you're some kind of ist or ism. Okay, this whole thing of wokeism, it's been a giant psyop, man. Okay, and notice he always takes the energy of Jake and he perverts it, because woke came from Jake. Okay, but he's taken that and he's twisted it. Okay, he's not creative of his own will, but he is very skilled at perverting something that has already been created, which is what Esau's MO has been, is to take all of life and creation and make some perverted version of it out for himself and try to make his own blessing, carve his own way. You see, it says when he speaketh fair, believe him not. Okay, and so all of this stuff about your safety, your child's safety, he doesn't care about that, man. Okay, it says believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Okay, whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. And that's what we have going on, and that's why the internet is not long for this world, at least not as we know it. Okay, you had web 1.0 back in the day where you had to type in www, you had to know the exact web address. Okay, then you had web 2.0, which is the search engine era, which is when Google came out, you know, in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, where everybody just started typing in things, and everything was basically the internet today we use today. It's still 2.0, where it all goes through some kind of search engine. Most people are not on the real true internet. You know, most people don't know how to navigate the dark web, the deep web, and all of that stuff. Okay, a lot of ISPs, your internet service providers, you know, whether you live in an area with Cox Cable or Verizon or Google Fiber, that's all gate kept particular IP addresses and things of that nature. Okay, so Web 3.0 is going to be blockchain designed. Okay, now what do I mean by blockchain design? It's going to be a blockchain. So the way they have tokens and these IDs and wallets and encrypted wallets and things of that nature. That's going to be the new internet. Okay, where you can be completely anonymous, or all of the data can be completely centralized. And which one do you think they're going to go with? Okay, they're not going to go with the anonymous version. All right. So Web 3.0 is your entire internet search history is going to be trackable, just like the money will be trackable. Okay, see, people just think blockchain was just a money technology. No, money is just one application of it, but it's really a much bigger technology than that. Okay, it's an everything digital technology. This will be how they track, trace, and gatekeep everybody in the world. Okay, and when they ban cash, you're not going to have any other way of interacting with people or transacting, like we say, except digitally. Okay, as soon as they ban cash, people are going to realize, okay, when you have to have an ID to have a bank account, you have to have an ID to have a Twitter. A lot of you are addicted to TikTok, addicted to Instagram. Okay, y'all are going to fall for it. You see, Proverbs 26 and 27, whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein, he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him. So all this lying that he's doing is going to backfire on him, man. Okay, and it really already is. Okay, he's gonna probably be successful at getting, well, he will be successful at getting everybody roped up in the ID, because that's going to be part of the charagma system. Okay, but he's not gonna get to the elect. Okay, who we pray and fast that the righteous and sincere men that are doing the work of the Lord are those men, man. And there's some sincere that may be out there watching or helps. Okay, he's not going to get them. This is going to backfire on him spectacularly. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll get this precept and I'll end it, because that's kind of what I had in the back of my mind anyway. This is Job 20 and 22, it says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Okay, he's at the fullness right now, and he is in straits, and that's why he's getting desperate. Okay, it says every hand of the wicked shall come upon him, man. Okay, they're all protesting against this thing. MAGA's base is divided. Okay, the small hats are the enemy now. You went from being a chosen people, could do no wrong, we won't even say nothing about you, to just getting roasted in every comment section, man. Okay, it says, and when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and it shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Okay, because that's what happens to the proud, you know, not paying attention, they're just eating. Okay, it says he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. These elites are going to run away. Okay, they're going to hide in bunkers as these missiles are flying out, and we're going to find you, man. Okay, when the Lord returns and those chariots show up, we're going to find you, man. Okay, there ain't going to be nowhere to run. Okay, we're going to literally be the gods of the earth at that point. Okay, it's a new rulership, it's going to be regime change. Okay, global regime change. Okay, so anyway, I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Hashem Shalom. Kwame Yasharallah.